Are you out looking for a home and you haven't talked to a lender about your home financing? That can be very risky, and let's take a look at a few reasons of why you shouldn't be doing this. All right, Mike, so we see this happen time and time again. We see buyers coming into an open house and they haven't talked to a lender yet, and they're on their way to Home Depot and they stop by the open house and fall in love, and now they can't buy the property. So let's talk about this. This is a great topic for us.
Yeah, it's all too common, and you may have experienced it, right? It's fun looking at homes.
Exactly.
Right? But that can have a lot of pitfalls, right? There's money at risk, there's different contingencies and things that you want to get prepared before you fall in love with that dream house. And that's what we wanted to go over. A couple of things to help you avoid, and really what happens if you do start the pre-approval process too late, and what to prevent from happening.
Yeah, and I think a big piece to talk about here is, let's talk about this competitive market that we're in, and the speed that you can, if you have your loan done, you can get the loan done quicker. Like, this becomes a very competitive advantage, and we talk about this all the time. It's like buying a home should be, let's be the best option to the seller. Let's not be that buyer that has to be the highest bidder to get our offer accepted.
Yeah, and I think that's depending on your local market, right? The competitiveness, having that pre-approval in hand really shows the seller that you're serious, right? You've gone through the necessary steps to show that you're able to get to the finish line, because the most important thing to the seller is that you're actually going to close on the house, right? So having that pre-approval in hand gives them that confidence, gives your agent that confidence that, hey, we're going to be able to complete this deal confidently.
Well, you're giving the seller that confidence too, because what did they do? They're out looking at homes too. Yeah. They put their home on the market because they know that they can go find their replacement home, and they might have fell in love with the home just last week, and now all of a sudden, when your loan's approved and you're ready to go, now you become that option for them that they know they can go buy that house.
Yeah.
So huge piece there. I mean, let's talk about the buyer though also. Like, the buyer goes in and looks at the home. They think they can qualify, or they might think that there's no issues, but we don't know.
Yeah, I would say that. So the second reason, right, that you don't want to wait too long is because of you, right? The most important component of it is making sure that you are most comfortable with this home purchase. And at the end of the day, it's not always the home price, it's mostly the monthly payment that's most concerning. So being able to set that budget up front, number one, you know what you're approved for, but number two, you know what you're comfortable with. And that's the process that the pre-approval really reveals to you is, okay, what are my down payment options? What's my monthly payment going to be on this house when you account for things like taxes, insurance, right? So budgeting, so that way you're walking into the right house, you're walking into the right expectation. All too common we see right now, I think the most recent statistic is that a lot of homes are falling out of escrow. And the reason being is whether, number one, you're not pre-approved, or number two, you aren't comfortable with that monthly payment. So getting pre-approved up front allows you to kind of take this part and be prepared for it.
Absolutely. And something that we see a lot is we have clients coming to us, or we talk to them at an open house, and they think they're in a good position to be able to buy. And now all of a sudden they start looking at the numbers, and now it's a shock to them. And now all of a sudden it's like, well, wait a second, I don't want to do this. And to your point, Mike, like, we're seeing these properties, they go into escrow, and then 2 or 3 days later they pop out of escrow. And why is that? I mean, could be inspection issues. There's other things that it could be, but a lot of this that we're seeing is like, it's the actual buyer seeing what the numbers look like, and either their lender says they can't do it, or that buyer says, I don't want to do that.
Yeah, which kind of brings us to our third kind of reason of why you don't want to wait too long, right? Is those unforeseen issues, right? Yep. We don't know what we don't know, right? That's where the professional comes into play. Whatever lender you choose, right, it's their job to make sure that you are approved for this property. So where you may think, right, I'm solid, I'm the best option for this house and this kind of monthly payment, but ultimately there are a lot of things that go into mortgages and making sure you are approved. So everyone's scenario is going to be slightly different. So these unforeseen issues are what gets figured out up front as you go through the approval process.
Exactly. And unforeseen could be something on credit.
Yeah.
You think how many times do we hear, oh, my credit score is 800, and we pull it and it's something much less than that? Or how many times do we hear our credit is, they feel that their credit is bad, and then we pull their credit and it's, in the upper 700s. It's great.
Yeah.
So sometimes an unforeseen issue might be one that we find, or that unforeseen issue could be something that that buyer is feeling like, hey, I'm not in a position to be able to do this. So, and really they are. So there's a lot of options here. There's a lot of topics around this and reasons of why you should go through that approval process in the beginning and not wait until you fall in love with that home, because that's the one you can't have. Like, let's have you in a position where you're approved, you know, like you're saying, that what the numbers look like, and you're going forward and you're purchasing your dream home and getting into it for the best possible scenario.
Yeah. If you want to learn more about buying a home and you're interested in getting pre-approved, check out this video about what a mortgage pre-approval is. And if you like this video, give us a like, subscribe to our channel, and check out our other videos.